What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Short show today, but let's jump right into it. Stanley Cup Final started on Wednesday. Oilers take a crazy game one, 4-3 in overtime. Come from behind, score a goal in the third period. I think 7 minutes left to tie it. Leon Draisaitl, a great pass from Connor McDavid, wins it with about 30 seconds to go in overtime on the power play. Great game, crazy game. Oilers win 4-3 in overtime. Hopefully get 7 games of that. Oilers take game 1, 4-3 in overtime. And then game 2 is going to be tonight, 8 o'clock on TNT. NBA Finals was last night. Pacers have done it again. They come from behind down 15, win 111-110. Tyrese Halliburton again rips another team's heart out. Go-ahead shot with 0.3 seconds remaining on the clock. Mid-range jumper. That dude is incredible. Didn't even have his best game. Only had 14 points in the game, but he pulls it out. Pacers had like 23 or 25 turnovers, like 19 turnovers just in the first half. And they find a way to pull it out. Shea, 38 points in the loss. Thunder inbounded the ball with like 22 seconds left. Up by a point. Very good defense from the Pacers, not fouling. Shea misses a mid-range shot. Indiana gets the rebound, so not to call timeout. Halliburton's getting the ball and makes a great shot to put Indiana up a point, obviously. 0.3 to go. They hang on to win. Incredible win for the Pacers. This team might just be a team of destiny. Not a lot of people picked them to win. I did not. But crazy. On the road, come from behind, down 15, even with all the turnovers he had. Crazy. But I'm surprised that the Thunder did not start Isaiah Hartenstein. They started Casey Wild. They went the double point guard and went a little smaller opposed to usually the normal double back, which was a surprise. Since Indiana starts Siakam and Miles Turner every game. So that was a very, very odd move. I did not agree with that by Mark Danielle, but I think that he'll go back to Hartenstein in game 2 as he hope he does, because he's been great all year. I'm surprised he did not start in the game. And game 2 of the NBA Finals is going to be on Sunday. That, of course, remains in Oklahoma City. It'll be at 8 o'clock on ABC. So just 2 other things to talk about before we're going to close this thing out. Then I have a little announcement. Dallas Stars have fired head coach Pierre DeBoer. News broke like late this morning that DeBoer has been let go by Dallas. It's a shock. Stars were in 3 straight conference finals under Pierre DeBoer, and he is out. So it's a shock. You lost to Vegas in 2023. Last year, you were expected to beat Edmonton. We knew it would be close, but you end up losing that series. You end up losing in 6 games. And then this year, we thought you got to get over the hump this year, right? And they were not able to do it. You actually lose in 5 games and just, I guess they're ready to get over the hump. They've put a lot of money into that roster. We obviously had a league goalie in Jake Ottinger, and he did bench Ottinger in that game 5 early on to give 2 easy goals. And they're making a change. He overall's had a good career. He's been coaching for a very long time. He started in Florida back in 2009. Was there 3 years. Didn't go very well. They got a second chance in New Jersey for 4 years. Was in the Cup final in 2012 when they lost to the Kings. But then after that 2 straight missing the playoffs 2 years in a row, was fired midseason in 2015. Then gets a job with the Sharks, takes him to the Cup final in his first season, 2016. 3 straight playoff appearances after that, including a conference finals in 2019. But after a tough start in 2020, gets let go. Later that season, catches on with Vegas. Took a struggling team and went 15-5-2 in the last 22 games. Takes them to the conference finals. Was in the conference finals again in the shortened year. But injury plagued year in 2022, which cost him the playoffs, cost him his job. And then he catches on with the Dallas Stars right away and was in the Western Conference Finals all 3 years. But I guess they want to get over the hump, and I don't think he's going to be the guy to do it. So he was let go. But I was very, very surprised as for who's out there. Could they call Pierre Laviolette? I mean, Laviolette, his last 2 stints haven't gone super well. Wasn't in Washington very long. The Rangers 2 years ago was in the conference finals, but this past year didn't make the playoffs. Obviously, just a tumultuous year with the Rangers this past year, and seeing him get fired. But he won a cup with the Carolina Hurricanes a very long time ago, but he did win a cup with the Hurricanes. He's had a long career. Could they give him a call? trying to think who else they call. I mean, I don't think they would call John Tortorella. I'm not sure if I think Torts will get a shot at some point before the guy's got a lot of wins. I know, obviously, he's not for everybody. You know the deal with him, but I don't know who Dallas is going to call now. But the roster is there. Obviously, you bring in Mikko Rantanen, who was amazing in the playoffs. That guy's one of the league's best players. You give him a big contract right when the trade happened. He's a really, really talented team. You have the goalie not injured. You already have all the pieces in place. They're just trying to get over the hump. And, I mean, the last 2 years they ran into the Oilers were a very resilient and very good team. I mean, you have the 2 best players in the sport in McDavid and Draisaitl. And obviously, some other guys you have, like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Evander Kane. Corey Perry, even at 40, is still kicking on the back end. Guys like Darnell Nurse and Matthias Ekholm, obviously, are impactful players. And at least right now, Stuart Skinner is playing well. Goalies were the one spot that's been their the weak point. Last year, Skinner was very up and down. Pickard, wasn't always super reliable. And then this year, Pickard had a decent year, and Skinner was just kind of okay. And then you make the change a couple rounds ago to go back to Skinner, but he's been lights out, and he played well for the most part in Game 1. And Edmonton is now 3 wins from a Stanley Cup trophy. So, but Pierre DeBoer is out in Dallas after 3 seasons. And the big news that dropped yesterday, the Aaron Rodgers saga is over. The Pittsburgh Steelers are signing Aaron Rodgers to a 1-year deal. He's flying out to Pittsburgh today to finalize the deal, and he will report to training camp when it starts next week. The saga is over. Not much else to say. I don't see this ending well. I don't understand how anybody could watch the New York Jets last year and say, let's get some of that. Yes, the Steelers are a way better organization, obviously. Mike Tomlin's a better coach. They would draw about Mike Tomlin. I've said a bunch of things about Mike Tomlin. I think they do need a change at that position, but he's a way better coach. Whatever the hell the Jets have, rolled out last year. Better team, better organization. That's very, very obvious. But the guy is going to be 41 years old. He is 41 years old. Will be 42 before the end of the season. Torn Achilles in the rearview mirror. I guess his numbers don't look horrible last year. If you're a casual and you just glance at the numbers, played every game, completed 63% of his passes, 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. You think, all right, it's actually a somewhat solid season for a guy who's 40 from a torn Achilles. You can live with that. However, if you watch the games, his numbers really weren't the full story. He had 5, 6, 7 chances last year, late in the games, in the 4th quarter, to go down and tie or in the game, and never was able to get the job done. Cost him a bunch of games. The Vikings game, throwing 3 picks in that game. The game against Seattle, your defense and special teams had you up multiple scores. You got a chance to go up by 3 scores. You're deep in the red zone, and then you overthrow Garrett Wilson, and then they'll pick on the next drive, on the next play rather, ends up a pick 6 the other way. You end up losing that game. To me, the only 2 games he truly was what the Jets signed up for was week 3 against New England. New England was not very good last year. Defense struggled all year. And the last game this season against Miami, who had a shaky defense as well, and that was the game that was meaningless. He had already been eliminated from playoff contention. All it did was ensure that the Dolphins didn't make the playoffs. I don't think they would have gotten it anyway. I don't think they got the help that they needed anyway once the Denver Broncos won in that week as well. And the game, you could argue, would have been better off losing. Maybe would have gotten you a higher draft pick. But other than that, he was mediocre to bad, to be honest. And just all the stuff that goes along with him, with the weird media quotes and how he always needs to bring in his friends, and he has to basically run the organization, and just, I don't know why you would sign up for this. And he held the team hostage all year to the point where, they were just waiting on him, so they didn't draft a quarterback until the 6th round, and they took Will Howard out of Ohio State. Only free agency move they made was bringing in Mason Rudolph, who's a career backup, guy who obviously was in Pittsburgh for a while, and last year was a backup in Tennessee. Now he's back in Pittsburgh. Obviously, you bring in Skylar Thompson for depth. That means nothing. That guy is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I'm sure he's a 3rd-string quarterback in the NFL. So, I don't know why you'd want to do this. I mean, with Mason Rudolph, considering how Tomlin's career has gone, I'm not sure if he would have gotten that team to 9 wins. I'm sure he'll get him to 9 wins with Aaron Rodgers. However, no further. Steelers are stuck in the same spot that they were before the Aaron Rodgers move. They'll go 9-8. Maybe they'll sneak into the playoffs. Maybe they won't. And we have a comment, Stone Sports, shout out to him. He says, Steelers will get more than 6 wins this year. On paper, they shouldn't. They really shouldn't win more than 5 or 6 games. They really shouldn't. They don't really have a legit running game. We don't know what this kid Caleb Johnson is. I think he could be pretty good. We all know. But you have a rookie running back who wasn't that highly talented. It wasn't like he was, the Ashton Genty or anything like that you draft. DK Metcalf is really the only true receiver. He's very good, but he's not he's not Jamar Chase. You have a solid tight end Freiermuth, but that's about it. And, the offensive line, you have some young pieces on the line you drafted recently. Zach Frazier you took last year. I think it was a tackle you've taken recently. So, you have young pieces on the O-line. If they gel, they could be pretty good, but also they could not be great. I know you have some wild veteran guard there as well. But, Stone also just said, that's coming from a guy who likes Metcalf and Caleb Johnson. So, that's also very telling. And I like them, too. I don't think Metcalf is... I would probably say he's a top 15 receiver in the league. Maybe he's the 9th or 10th receiver at best, but I'll say you're right. A top 15 receiver in the league in Metcalf. I think Caleb Johnson could be a solid back. But, I think the line's is kind of shaky, and Rodgers needs time to throw, first of all. That guy cannot move anymore, because he is a literal statue back there. I don't know if he has the protection. Defense is really good. I don't mind him in Arthur Smith's system. They're going to run a guy like Smith is going to run the ball a lot. However, do they have a legit running game? We'll see. Just this seems like a disaster waiting to happen. I almost feel like they're better off going 5-12, getting the 6th pick in the draft, so they can draft a quarterback. Worst case, you have to move up 3 spots, give up a couple second rounds to move up 3 spots. But next year's quarterback list should be better too. And Stone was put out. Their schedule sucks too. I mean, look at that division. You got to play the Ravens and Bengals with the bat. That's 4 games a year. Obviously, those AFC North battles are freaking battles at all times. And Cleveland, his team should be able to handle. Cleveland isn't very good this year, but the Ravens are a very good team. They got to play them twice. The Bengals, I mean, if they play any semblance of defense, I would think should be in the playoffs with Joe Burrow and company and what they have on the offensive side. So, but those 4 games alone are going to be really tough, and then the rest of our schedule isn't pretty either. So, on paper, you're right, Stone. Stone's right. They should be 6-11. That's about what they're looking at. You have a washed quarterback. You don't have a ton of supporting cast on offense. The defense is very good, but they only do so much. The defense has been elite for years, and then it hasn't gotten them anywhere. It's gotten them at best at 10-7 and getting just bludgeoned in the first round. And their defense hasn't played well in any of these playoff games they've lost the last 6 years. I did a whole episode months ago on Mike Tomlin and how their defense has gotten bludgeoned in every playoff game that they've lost in the first one in the last 6, 7, 8 years. But Rodgers is a Steeler. Is he better than Mason Rudolph? I guess. But honestly, I would have started Rudolph, win 5 games. Worst, at this point, I might just move, if you talk to move on from Mike Tomlin, that might be what you need. I've said before, I think that's what needs to happen. Win 5 games, get the 5th, 6th pick, 4th pick, draft the quarterback next year, maybe make a change in leadership, and start the next era of the Pittsburgh Steelers that you need to start for at least 5-6 years at this point. But that's all I got for you guys today. Stone, thank you for your comments on the space. And until next time, so long. Never mind, I do have a quick announcement. Not going to be in the studio much longer. School for me is ending permanently. Not permanently. I have one more class I'm doing from my house in New York. After next Tuesday. So next week I should be most likely, definitely Monday through Thursday. I should be in the studio. Friday, maybe not. I think I'll be in the studio. And then that Monday, most likely we'll be in the studio again. And then that will be it. So I'm just letting you guys know. However, still going to do it on Zoom for as long as possible. So just letting you all know. Till next time, so long. Have a great day.